A new command I give you, love one another. As I have loved you, so you must love one another. By this, everyone will know that you are my disciples, if you love one another. John 13:34. It is overwhelming right now to contemplate how Jesus loves us. Jesus, on the way to the cross, his final moments of life on earth, spent time teaching his disciples what it means to love, and he did so by demonstrating. Jesus, God himself, washed the disciples' feet to literally show that God's love is overwhelming and selfless. God's love pours out of us with selfless service and reverence when we receive this recognition. I am blown away by the magnitude of this moment. How could Jesus wash the disciples' feet, especially with his betrayer lurking in the same room? Satan prompted Judas to betray Jesus, and Satan entered Judas when he took the bread from Jesus. It is hard to comprehend what Jesus felt and experienced in that moment. And in that moment, Jesus said to his disciples, his parting words before his journey to the cross, a new command I give to you. Love one another as I have loved you. As Jesus has loved, we too are to love. How did Jesus love? In that moment, we recognize Jesus' love demonstrated through selfless acts of service, in the midst of a tumultuous moment of emotions and an awareness of the painful realities that soon awaited him. We are given a new command as Jesus' followers to love everyone like Jesus loved us. Jesus washed the disciples' feet, even Judas. Will you wash Judas's feet this week? Will I wash Judas's feet this week? I'm amazed at the depth of love expressed by Jesus. As I contemplate life right now, I am overwhelmed with an awareness of how we are called to love God, love one another, love our families, and love the community by being the church while loving one another with deep, affectionate relationships. This does not require a specific program. This requires an open heart to the reality of how to keep Jesus' command front and center. Love one another as Jesus loves. Other people will know we are Jesus' disciples if we love one another, like Jesus taught us to love, not how we think we should love one another. There seem to be many believers who do not want other people to know they love Jesus. I'm not just talking about personality types, shy people versus outgoing people. I mean, there is an obvious difference I see in people who take Jesus' new command serious versus those that show no fruits of doing so. There is a calling, a passion, to intentionally love others in such a way that it is unmistakable to know as to why, versus consumeristic Christians that are prevalent around us. Consumeristic Christians want to know what is in it for them. A consumeristic Christian says, what's in it for me? A consumeristic Christian says, I can sing. Why aren't my gifts being used the way I envision them to be used? A consumeristic Christian says, I have a lot of money. Shouldn't I be making the decisions as to how the church spends money? A consumeristic Christian says, I need to make sure no one is taking advantage of the donations we give away. Notice the internal focus with an overuse of I's. The selfless Christian who has been touched by Jesus' love wants to express that love in whatever method available to do so for the other person's benefit. A selfless Christian is the senior adult who feverishly writes cards as an outreach to show love to others. A selfless Christian passionately prays daily for the Lord's will. A selfless Christian is the person cooking a meal for others before they cook one for themselves. A selfless Christian is someone who pays for another's electric bill without them even knowing. There's so many more opportunities that could be listed. Why? Because a selfless Christian recognizes how Jesus loves them, and the depth of that recognition pours out with genuine affection for others to know that too. A selfless Christian is a loving Christian, and selfless love is the only way people will know we are Jesus' disciples. In fact, it is the only way we can be a disciple of Jesus's. How will you live into the new command Jesus has given, to love one another as Jesus has loved, so that people will know we are his followers by our love?